Hello, and welcome back, my wonderful tome readers, and welcome those of you who might be joining for the first time. Art in Minecraft, Sunday special, first hour of art. And then afterwards, Minecraft, because it's the only way I can get myself to do shit for not a major project. You gotta do what you can. Hey, Tommy, good to see ya. And Matt, if you're still here, I know I said in chat, best of luck with modding with the other channel. So today, we're going to do another form of warm-up, something I haven't done in a while, because I'm actually pretty comfortable with shortcuts and techniques I've learned with the GIMP art program. But I figured it'd be a good way to do some low, what is the term I'm thinking of? Low risk, low reward type art. That's really good for just when you're starting out with a new program, you need to kind of get the odds and ends, or maybe you don't have an active project and you need to experiment, find out some new techniques you can do. I'm going to be using a coloring page, which, right, I had to clear it from the chat. Here we go. From Mix Alpi, who I don't think she has any commissions open currently. Oh, the most I can do is 30-minute. All right, 30-minute timer then. There we go. Yeah, 30-minute timer. There's a link to her Ko-fi page where you can get this and several other little doodling pages as pay what you want type deals. But yeah, it's simple, and the background is not part of it. I did that so you can see it a little easier. I've also already made a couple other layers to help easily select. Though as a zoom in here, you can see it does run underneath, because I did not go super exactive, excluding this stuff, with just the broad strokes, so to speak. And it's technically only 2 layers, because I figured all the borders can be left as one total layer. But yeah. We're gonna do some stuff, leaving the original up top. Though we can probably mess with some. Let me see the aberration thing, the color aberration that I learned is still in my memory. So let's see. I need to duplicate a bunch of these. Then I also need to put these in a folder, just to help make sure they are separated correctly. No, that's not how I have to go to colors. Oh, no, components, channel mixer, there we go. So it's only red and the red. Or will this not work because it's all black? We shall see. It's possible it will not work because it's all black. Let's see if we... Yes. Yes, it is indeed, because it's all black. But if I... Let's see, if I select all this by color, do this. I'm gonna have to do it for each section. Cool. Okay, I got those. This is a good way to test if I can remember a technique. Sometimes that's what you gotta do art warm-up stuff for, just to remember how you do something, all those steps where things are kept in the menus. Something I can't really show too well, just because for whatever reason, I've seen some people get it to work for other art programs. The drop-down menus just do not show up on stream. I'm not sure if it's just a setting I don't have marked correctly, but in any case, I just need to get enough of this done to see if I can do the cool color aberration thing that is not present in modern tech. But those of you who are old-timers like myself might recognize this from your TV sets back in the day, or heck, even currently, because those old TV sets are still kicking, somehow. There. it'd be a little cool to see how this looks without any of the like individual panels colored in. Just with color aberration, perhaps the basic black over top of them. Oh, did not get that. There we go. Is that all of it? Oh, missed a few. Boom and boom. Alright, technically that was many actions. So we do that. Select none, there we go, save. We need to delete these two copies because they're not going to be visible. Duplicate later. Alright, so let's see. It was color components, channel mixer. Not work. Okay, what if I go to the hue chroma? Yes, that's the other way to change colors. That's more. I turn up chroma and lightness. There we go. The sickening green. And then once again, the duplicate layer, and there we go. I think we have to go the other way for blue. Nope. Goes to orange. Aha. We need more of a darker blue. Not that dark. There we go. Nice, kind of a denim blue, I guess. Okay, do the proper... Oh. Clicking a tool thing. Mess with some of the windows. Okay. Do proper thing. I need to... what is it? Addition. That's right. Addition to the layer below as the layer filter. Does that. Perfect. Okay. Then what we do is we move all these layers just a little bit. Move this blue one up. Green one to the side. Come on. Just a little bit. Okay. Red one to the other side. Alright, perfect. Not at all. But if we put the normal black one on top, visible, ooh, yes, that gives a nice and also a little subtle aberration effect behind it. If we just adjust the opacity of the whole group, you can tell that there's just something slightly off about the color, which is good. And if we do this again layer with just the colors we're going to put in these individual segments, we'd be able to do the what was it called again? The channel mixer to create the aberration effect. But I mean, just this, that's still pretty good if you're going for a simple one, for maybe some line art. All right, for the actual changes. Oh right, I forgot the goal, because I am still going to try and teach myself something with this coloring page, and that I can need. Where's the example? Here we are. So this is one of the finished pieces that Miss Albee has posted. In fact, of her specific OC, her character, that she used for her profile picture and all that. And it's one of those pieces that a lot of the people who follow her notice it really just has a kind of a stained glass vibe to it, which is something I can't replicate as detailed as this, we'll say. And looking out, like, from the kind of pulled back position, you can still tell they're like these little details here, but I think the fact that they're kind of faint, that you can tell that there's something but don't know quite what, is what helps with it. We'll do a zoom in here. Close up, I think one of the main things that helps is the color gradients she has. Not that just follow the curve, because they don't all do so. It's especially visible here in the bangs. There's like a slight curve, but it's not super visible. For all we know, it only looks like that because the highlights are some darker lines to give the hair texture. And then this is just a very gentle fade from this kind of a, not quite dark, but like a gray blue into a lighter, almost white blue. Then later it comes back down on the outside, perhaps just like an oval. Like the gradient is starting from the inside, much lighter color, then coming on the outside of the oval is a dark one. Or just these details on the sleeve, which are flat. They don't follow what the three-dimensional shape of an arm in a sleeve would look like. All these little swirls, which could be details done after the glass is mounted. Because here's a comparison. Here's some actual stained glass. Not an overtly religious. It is in memory of a reverend and their wife. But even pulled back distance, just like her art. You can tell there's some texture, perhaps even some minor details, but they're not big. They're not super noticeable unless you get up close here, where there's almost like a water ripple looking effect here, or like some marble, like the stone marble swirls in some of these pieces. Like pull back, you can tell all of these are more or less the same kind of a blue-purple. But up close you can tell just how different they are, how these might not even be the same type of glass. They just happen to be close enough. Or all these little gold ones, which is actually just yellow, and there's some bubbly parts that just look darker, because there's just more glass in the way. How these are a gradient of a red down to a green vertically, which was probably intentional, but from a distance it looks like brown with a little like highlighted part of it. And she has said that, at the very least before these comments came in, that effect was not something she was intentionally going for. I think she's leaned into it with some of her pieces. But yeah, we are going to try and replicate some of it. I don't know her technique, I don't know her methods. She might have a drawing tutorial somewhere. But I'm sure she also uses an art program where she's used to doing like brush textures or airbrushes or something. And like I said, I don't know that technique, so we're going to experiment with what I do know and see how close I can get to this effect. I did one of the more open images from her art. From her free coloring pages, so if anyone else wants to do a similar thing, this is going to be the easiest one of the 4 packs. But also, if you're on a tight budget, it's something you can work on. First things first, let's make another one. Small circles. Okay. Because around this thing, we have a bunch of circles. Go to fuzzy select, we come up here to the finer details. We're just going to select all these ones, at least around the border. And leave the ones on the inside for later. Oh, gotta be careful about hitting the black outlines though. Makes it a little difficult. Yeah, after we get all these areas selected, actually, to match it, we're also going to do this thicker band here, just so we still have something in the corners, but a different color than all the spiky starbursts. But anyway, after we get all these selected, what we're going to do is we're going to expand the selection by a couple pixels to make sure that they completely not overlap, that they take up the same space as the entirety of it, and not having any like gray or empty spots from when we inevitably use the paint bucket as a base, and then later one of our gradient tools to add some colors on top of it. one in the center would also look good to match. You know what? It would still be a small detail, but imply a larger area. Oh, again, I accidentally hit line. Those are the areas we're going to have to be very careful and come back to after we expand. Come on, get that whole line. There we go. Because yeah, that's visible overlap, but not seen there. Which means here as well. Shit, accidentally clicked there. There, and also these two areas. Come on. God, it's so close. If I click here, yep, counts the whole lines. Okay, so we're gonna have to, there we go, rectangle select. Oh shit, that is on deselect. One of the downsides of this particular art program, tool settings are saved from the last time you used it. The only last time I used the rectangle select, it got all that. Do there. Come on, come on. We both ends. So close. Oh, so close. Okay. Let's see. We could probably do that, but we won't. Ooh, but we should get in here, shouldn't we? Might have bit off more than I could chew with this inside the middle frame here. No, that should be part of that. There's also there. Okay. That should be good. Okay, then small circles. Is the base color? We'll do a darker yellow brown, like a darker than a mustard brown. Oh wait, almost forgot. Grow, selection by 2. Okay, yeah, that looks good. And because this is a new layer entirely with GIMP, that fills all of them. Perfection. And see, we can tell that this is part of this whole segment because we don't have this side of the frame border. Perfect for our purposes. Ah, we missed one circle. Alright, select none. We need to go back up to here. Is there anything else we missed? We got that border, we got that circle, those. Okay, so we literally just missed this one, which is annoying but easy to fix. Grow by 2. Boom. Oh, on the wrong layer. There we go. As we just hide that away, we can see that it is indeed only these areas. But it's hidden because we have the border outline like this. How did that happen? Oh, right, because I did straight lines. It did not pick all those up. Well, we'll have to keep that in mind when we go in later. Okay, all. There we go. Then, because we did that, we can now do... Oh, not duplicate layer. A new layer, that's right. Just go small circles... details, and then this is where we actually put the details, because we can just color select. I'll get all the things we already did, larger than the outlines are going to show as well. Okay, gradient, no, that's too fire and warm. I don't think neon yellow will do good. Could have sworn there's one for, there it is, golden, which we'll do at just like a mid opacity. See, that's radial. I think radial is fine for this. There we go. That golden, the goal is for part of it to still run into here. We have this nice central. Not quite that much. There we go. We got a nice darker on the upside, lighter on the inside. And because it's radial, which means it's going in a big circle running out, and repeating as well, it's going to hit all of the areas. We only did add a 50% opacity, so we still have that undercolor there. But it also, if you wanted to, say, change it, see hue chroma here to just show off very quickly. We can just change that undercolor, make it more warmer, perhaps more colder. And that gold, because it's partial, is still working pretty well. That's a good step. Do another save. And we'll make another subfolder just so those are together. Perfect. Then mix it. But yeah, we're not going to be doing too much of the tiny details right now because up to this point has already taken almost a half hour. Okay, how about next? The window checker box, yeah. That would be good. Color selecting all those yellows. Another. Window checker details. You can name it however you like. However, it keeps it separate for your minds. But let's see. I think for the detail on this one, we are going to keep it fully 100%, no opacity whatsoever. And yeah, we will actually keep it with this golden gradient. However, let's change it from radial to asymmetric cone. That's pretty good, though. I think I maybe started it too high. So the center be here. Let's see. It's got this huge amount of like black that I don't want to bleed into the top because I want to keep the lighter tones up top. There we go. Select none. Look at that. Underneath it we select that, so we can always reselect it if we don't like how this turned out, but I low-key kinda do. Let's see, another duplicate group. And we could be doing this another way with layer masks and what have you, but that takes a little longer to set up. I'm trying to, show ways you can kind of mess around, see how things looked. For instance, see we don't like this checkerboard pattern for those segments. All we have to do is just make a second link here. There we go. This one, instead of the gold again, let's go for something different. Incandescent, which is black fading into a red into a yellow. And actually this one we'll do regular symmetric. There we go. Ooh, much too high unless we want the darks to just overpower. There you go. And I think we offset it just a little. There we go. Because a little asymmetry is actually good, especially with a plan or a specific mood you're trying to get out of a piece. And voila, very different from the gold. Because the gold, it still kind of like matches these other sections we already did. But not perfectly. In fact, I think with these golds, this is much too warm. We'd have to change this other undercolor to make that a more warm gradient. Not the exact same one. We wouldn't want to repeat it too much. But I think that's fine. I think next... Ooh, to contrast it, let's start getting some layers with some cooler stuff. Let's see, that's... There's the borders. Okay. So on the borders, what we're going to color match here are the greens. This is where we're going to start a much simpler blue thing. Borders, blue. Details, okay. First thing, the original borders, we're going to change all these greens to the same blue color. I've done green and red because they're natural contrasting opposites. Alrighty. Alright. For a gradient, we're going to keep to another cool one. Let's see. See, this first one, we said we were going to do a more subtle one. So what I'll do is choose this gradient that's just called metallic something, literally. And we're just going to have no repeating thing. We're going to have it just manually go from one end to almost the other. We'll do a bilinear. Okay. Actually, with this red design, let's go from this corner up. That's good, a little too heavy down here, so let's extend this off the page. And there we go, and then we've got this, which doesn't quite parallel. Ooh, actually... It doesn't quite look like it would be in line with this layering of light, so let's actually swap sides. Can we make it look like there's perhaps some light shining through at an angle there? Perhaps a decision the stained glass makers consciously made for whatever the foreground scene would be for it. Okay, we'll do it there. And because this is its own separate layer, with the full opacity completely covering the base, means we can now mess with opacity on this layer separate. Though I'm thinking light luminance. No, that doesn't really change anything. How about luminous? Ooh, that's not visible enough. Complete opposite issue, though. A rather nice gradient in of itself. Not complaining, it's just not what I'm going for. Just scroll through some of these linear light's not bad. Kind of takes some of the yellows out of this, and I think perhaps hard mix. No, definitely not hard mix. Difference turns the blue into a yellow gold, which is strange. That even keeps some of this darker blue here, actually, huh? Some things you only find out by messing around. Let's see, pin light does maintain some of the yellow. I think we'll go with pin light actually. Where was it? There we are. Just bring down some of the opacity so it's more subdued. Then I think for the blues on this border the base specifically, this we're going to go the hue chroma again, so we're changing only these base blues. I'll lighten it up a little bit. Actually, let's reduce the chroma. Yeah, we're lightening the blue, but we're also kind of dulling it, which means that other layer is kind of like bringing more of the lightness specifically. That is looking handsome. We should also get a more specific background, which I don't have a pre-made layer for yet. We can always make a separate layer if we want these circle insides to be different later. So for now, we're just going to include them to be safe. There. Anything else that would go here? Ooh, actually, give it a good mystical magic feeling. We're also going to add all these inner stars. Almost like this is a door just suspended in space. Part of what's outside the door showing through these specifically. Is it ambitious? Just a little bit. Just a little bit of ambition doesn't hurt anybody, except myself. Alright, select grow. 2, is that enough? It's not quite enough actually. It's good there. We'll do another grow. Okay, these borders still all covered by the outline. Ooh, a little edging a little bit there, but I think it'll work. I think it'll work out just fine. Especially because it'll be at, well, not the bottom, but near the bottom. Details. Just move behind borders. Oh, there we go. This one I think is just going to be a much darker blue. So we'll start with, oh, wrong tool to change up. There's the bucket. Keep it here, but conversely with the hue chroma. Go in around the darkness, but also some of the color. That's actually looking a little too dark for seeing less. There we go. We will compensate by just doing more chroma, which is actually turning it kind of purple. I think that works. I think that works pretty well. Alright. From here, another layer for fine details. Go back to here, color select, all this. Ooh, it's actually a good thing I did this, because I completely missed a few areas I should not have. Here. Anything else up at the top? Aha! Here. And here. Just because it's a coloring page doesn't mean it's easy. You can still make some small mistakes in continuity, and it's one of the reasons we do the way I do it is why I do it. Okay, grow. Okay, if it's good there, it should be good all over. Back to the correct layer. Oh, we're gonna have to color select the background just to make sure it fits. Aha, also missed those. That's on me. Okay, let's go back up here, make sure. Nope, did not automatically get those. Okay. Just do the whole shebang with these down here. Oh wait, forgot to do the expand thing. That's why you gotta be careful not to rush. We got plenty of time in the grand scheme of things. If we did make the mistake, we can always try to figure some way out to kind of hide our sins of what we did. As a middle school art teacher once told me, a great artist is not one incapable of making mistakes. It's ones who know how to make their mistakes look intentional. To which I agree. It does not matter how big a mistake you make if people don't see it as such. This one, ooh. What if we do a pattern for this? I don't do too much with the palette options, mostly because the ones based in GIMP are a little weird. Yeah, they repeat like that. They don't really shape themselves, but adding texture might help this feel more like stained glass. I definitely weird. So I just do like, nope. Ah, there we go. Leopard by itself would not make a lot of sense for stained glass, but if we come here and just go to darken only, let's bring down the opacity. We kind of get the, I don't know what the right term is. I want to say dappled glass, but that doesn't sound quite right. Settle those, so we need to make it there we go. Actually looks pretty good, and if we do yet another layer below that for the variations in color, oh right, there we go. So color gradient, let's see, this would be, I already said the idea of a kind of like magical window frame looking thing, like it's just suspended in space. What's one way to kind of convey that? Let's try doing this one. Just do a normal linear at a kind of opposite angle as we had here. Of course, this is the normal default, no filter on it. The texture seems to be hanging on, though for processing reasons we're going to have it just removed for the moment. Okay, here are the color details. If we just lower the overlay, it does help reduce the darkening of that, but it's not light enough to look like a window. So yeah, we can't just do via opacity. How about lighten only? No. Screen helps get the blue colors in there, but I think I'd have to further reduce the opacity on that. Or actually, wait. If I... Crease light... No. Crease and lightness does not help with it on darken only. What if I do it as overlay instead? Alright. Okay, yeah, that helps. It helps maintain some of the lightness. And we need to go into here, hue chroma. And now if we adjust lightness with hue chroma, it stays. Okay. That might be a bit too light. At 15 lightness, okay. And then everything else is just a matter of how I layer the borders, really. Sorry, not the borders. Layer the layers of what's at the top, takes precedence, what is not. Okay, we can come back down to these colors. Dodge is a bit bright. Accidental trans flag coloring, to be honest, but no, not for this. Multiply, burn, burn. Go hard light. There we go. That's a kind of like spacey gradient to me. We still have the lightnesses out here, but to be honest, this part of the gradient is too far out. I think I need to redo it. Alright, save, because I've done that a bit. There we go. We do want some lightnesses here. There we go. And then we're getting some of the color in all of the stars. That's one way to do it. Oh, wait. Just realized that was not specific to all the right areas. So I'm going to have to redo that. Select invert. Okay, redo. Okay, we're going to do one version with a linear gradient. An alternative when we're going to do a radial instead. Which we can do it. There we go. So for this, I am going to have to duplicate, let's see, it's hard light at 65 opacity. There we go. Which actually, with a placement like that, yeah, lower the opacity to 45. Oh, almost forgot. Take that selection off. That is looking pretty good. And one other thing we can do really quick, I think will help. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're duplicating the outlines again, except this time we're going to choose everything not an outline, select invert. Let's make everything a really, not quite white, but a pale gray. Oh boy, it's going to make me select all of it. Okay, cool, cool. There's a method to my madness. We will get there in a second. See, what I'm thinking of doing is kind of just offsetting this layer a little bit underneath the black, but also largely opaque. To help duplicate the some of the highlights that Miss Alfie has on her artwork without individually going with a brush. Because like I said, that's not a technique I am familiar with, that I do often. And I certainly should sometimes get more practice in. But that's not what I'm showing off today. I'm showing off the bare bones, broad stroke type stuff that I usually start with. Yes, we are even doing the signature. We are keeping it as part of the project. Because, I mean, I'm not going to sell this, claim it's my own. Certainly not going to do that. It's not how I roll, and also I don't do commissions. So it'd certainly be suspicious if I suddenly was like, oh yeah, I totally made this. You know? It's just not me. Okay, that looks good. Oh, almost forgot the little details in there. And one more. Nope, already got that one. Okay, cool. None. Just from here, some little details are poking through underneath, but not a lot, not yet. Actually, what if we... There you go. If we do the screen effect, that pops a lot more. Nice. Okay. You can see some of the effects right there. Though, let's see, what do we say before this next bit? Okay, we can duplicate the layer again, but this one, where is the effect? Here it is, blur. I think it's Gaussian blur that I'm looking for. There we go. Nice large glow underneath. Oh yeah, that definitely helps these parts look real shiny. Like, look at this. There's a normal effect. There's the Gaussian blur. It is a little bright, but that's what bring down opacity is for. If we layer it with that, all the more so. Oh yeah, that's good. Alright, I need to change this highlight and lights. Okay. There we go. We started with just a base coloring page already with just a few simple techniques. We've given them depth. We've given faux highlights by just rearranging the outlines. And with these gradients, this one texture, with all this, let's see, which layer is it? Not that one. There we go. I need to make a layer group for those, actually. One sec. Alright. Background layers. Now you do have to be careful with how you do layers, because some programs, especially with how effects like this go, they will not affect things the same if they are not inside the same folder. I am liking that more, so we'll leave it like that. Now, that is good. Alright, that's chromatic aberration. I forgot to leave that. Aberration. Okay, so what if we move that to the very top layer? Oh yeah, that makes everything look weird. And sometimes that's a way to do it. Not specifically moving chromatic aberration to the top layer, but I mean, say coloring the outline so it's something other than black can really affect the mood of a piece. Let's see, we need to move this up there. Oh, right, because the tag only lasted for about 30 minutes. So I'm gonna paste it again. Because look, the possibilities are not quite endless, but it's a really good warm-up type of task you can do with a new program or something you haven't like filled with a lot to try out new things. Let's see. Actually, once again, I need to... Oh wait, that's not the right layer. Once again, this detail's still coming in a little strong. There we go. I think underneath the highlights and above this one, yeah. Ripple effect. For this one, we are just gonna find a pattern that looks most like a water ripple effect. Let's see. That's just 3D green. Blue grid. No. Absolutely not. That's called fiber, so probably won't be... Ah, god dang it. I'm sorry, I clicked too much on the tool tab that it popped out. That's only more distraction for me. Shit, what's it called again? Tool options, that's right. Various forms of marble, don't think so. Aha, pool bottom. I think that's pretty good. Do not light and only overlay. Overlay. There we go. That is some good classic pebbling for the glass. The leopard print here is just a different kind. It makes this clear it's a different quality of glass, perhaps a little worse off. But if it's a single solid piece, yeah, that's how it would actually be made. But also make sure it's not overlapping. Because it's just in here. Here's that section. We come up to ripple effect, add layer mask, selection. There we go. Oh. Oh, wait. Forgot to invert it. Or... No, I selected the wrong layer. Right, select, none. Nope, wrong thing. I think that's correct. There we go. That prevents the double layer overlap like that. Because yeah, that makes it a little weird. So re-enable layer mask. There we go. That keeps this from still kind of standing out as a nice purple, while more blues and some bright reds and yellows coming in the center there. Delightful. Alright, we only have a few minutes left. I'm going to try and get these panes done really quick. Right, here we go. Panes. Relabeling things, because I apparently forgot to do them. That is checker. Alright, there we go. Window panes, which will require going to here and selecting a bunch of stuff. That's too small to do that first. We're gonna have to. Oh, I hate when that happens. Just something about this mouse. Sometimes double clicks and completely changes what I was trying to do. Okay, no segment there. There you go. One works that. That's good. Oh, too far. There. And just like the other side, we have to go in. That. All right. Grow. Oh, wait, no. Yes, right there. All right. These panes will all do with black as the base. Oh, wait. I was still on the pool bottom bit. There we go. That shows... We got everything, yep. Alright, then... Into paint details. We are going to have this still as a mainly dark color, but I think we're going to go for like a really dark gray to white type of detail. Select all the panes. Alright, gradient. Oh. No, that's not the right one. Aha, crown molding is what this one is called. Oh, we're still on radial. Gotta change that. Ooh, what about if we do shaped? Not like that. Even worse. I think it might be a little... I think it's not the right kind of pattern to make that look good. Back to linear. Oh, right, we're going to have this one do that. All right. There we go. You might think, hey, isn't that a bit too uniform? You're absolutely correct. The way we're going to change that is actually, let's make the other group here. Pane config, okay. Get these all moved up into here. What we're going to do is we're going to actually duplicate that. Actually, no. It's not the right way to do it. Detail 2 and 3. Okay. So what we're going to do is from the main color option, which is not visible here, if we do fuzzy select and deselect several of these, we're not going to do a uniform way. That should be good. In the second one, we're going to come through exact same gradient. As you can see, it's going to be at a different angle and different size. Then we just go right back to the main one and deselect a few more. We'll go with this one. There as well. You know what? Let's also deselect that one. Alright, then another layer. This one we'll do as a bilinear. I think... There we go. Then lastly, just one more. Further removing more panes. Let's see. There. Boom, boom. Two in there. Is that sparse enough? I think we're moving that one. Alright, and the very last one we're gonna have this. We're gonna go back to linear. None, and voila. The worst case is we can always just come through some of these. Say, oh, that's all. Deselect, there we go. And if they just look too similar to a few of them, just come to the select layer and cut. There we go. Is it perfect? No, not at all. And that's where we come in through with the opacity. Because there are multiple layers, not all of which have stuff behind it. It just further messes with the texture of these things. So what's one I haven't touched? This one. Let's turn this one to screen. There we go. Look at that. And all we've really been doing is using patterns and the various filters and opacity settings for all of the layers. We're still getting something that looks really detailed in a little over an hour's worth of work. Is this a replacement for hiring someone to properly commission, get like an overall theme, a coherent theme through all of it? Not at all. But for what I do and the way I use some of my assets, I mean, sometimes this is all you need. Especially if you're doing stuff for, say, your RPG group and you're DMing something. It's easy to get like set piece things or little details done up. And this also is not finished. There are some segments we did not get to, but I mean the level of detail that is pretty much just a couple select layers. Because like that ripple effect on everything helps turn everything a little blue. That helps make everything kind of come down to a little more limited palette. We've also got these highlights in there. Let's not forget chromatic aberration in there as well, which is also coincidentally lightening things up. Let's not forget all those colors. And we are back to how we started. One coloring page, one background layer to make it stand out a bit more. And that's all she wrote. Even just coming back in and adding in some of these select layers make for interesting visuals. I hope you all learn something about ways to learn your program by just messing around. This isn't something I'm going to actually use for anything. It's more just showing off another way to kind of warm up and practice, especially if you're perhaps feeling a little, not creatively bankrupt, creatively drained or blocked. but you still want to work on something. Nothing wrong with trying to sharpen your skills instead of finish a project you have waiting in the wings. Sometimes that's what you got to do. So on that note, let's go ahead to the BRB screen and get a break. There we go. All right, for those watching the VOD on YouTube, as always, I hope you all are eating enough, drinking enough, getting enough sleep. Take care of your body so your body can take care of you. Minecraft will be a separate stream as per usual.